Chapter 4 is about atoms and elements. And so here we get into what we think more of as being chemistry. So here's an understatement. Atoms are incredibly small. Atoms are mind-bogglingly small, just like the universe is mind-bogglingly large. I don't think we can really understand how small atoms are. But this is a nice analogy. So here's a little pile of coarse sand. If every atom in one of those pebbles of sand, just one pebble, if every atom in there were the same size as the pebble would be larger than Mount Everest. That's how many atoms are in that little tiny grain of sand. Very important idea, all matter is composed of atoms. All matter, everything. And the properties of the atoms determine the properties of the matter. So the properties of the materials in my calculator depend on the properties of the atoms that make up my calculator. An atom is the smallest identifiable unit of an element. There are smaller particles, but those are not identifiable as part of the element. I like to think of atoms as being like Lego bricks. Okay? The Lego brick is the smallest piece, right? There's different sizes of Lego bricks, different shapes, different colors, but you take whatever you've built out of Legos, if you take it apart, you come down to the bricks. That's what the structure was made out of. And for matter, it's made out of atoms. An element is a substance that can't be broken down into simpler substances. We mentioned that earlier. So if you take, actually I think there's an example coming up. Here's a very old picture. Leucippus in the 5th century BC and Democritus, what would that be, the 4th century? I don't know. 460 to 370 BC, a little bit later, recorded ideas of atoms. Okay, so way back then, there was this concept of a smallest particle. And so Democritus suggested that if you took matter, let's say a piece of gold, and you cut it in half, and you took one half and you cut it in half, and you took one half and cut it in half, and kept doing that, that eventually you would get to a particle that could not be cut in half. And that was the smallest particle, and he called that atomos, or atom, meaning indivisible. So the concept of atoms has been around since way back then.